What's up, guys? It's Chase from King Crab and the Gentleman, and today we have Lucas Johnson, who got 16th place at Columbus Regional.
That's true.
Top
I did.
48.
Basically a YCS. No, it was just three. Yes.
What did you play?
I played Sky Striker.
Alrighty, pretty good this event.
Yeah, it was cool. I think it was a pretty good call for the event. Even with Striker winning the last YCS, I feel like people still aren't respecting the deck enough, and more so just really respecting Mystic Mind. So, but yeah, I think the deck put in work, and I did something kind of interesting, I would say, and kind of new. So I played basically no hand traps, not a zip, not a zap.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, so we have OU Faithful. We have 3 Ray and 3 Rose. And that is my monsters. That is all I play.
That's all you need, I guess.
No Ray, no play. So Rose is kind of the same thing. Yeah, I think I only had 2 games today where I had literally no way to play, and it was in the same match. So we lost that one. But I think every other game we always had some way to play in some regard. Or maybe there was a couple bricks, but we were able to survive and play it out. But yeah, the only 2 games I got these is the idea is even if you do brick, you can use like Mystic Mind to kind of like sit on it and then just wait until you accrue advantage, and then you can finally like make a push. Or you can sit on until you win. I don't do that though. I mean, you can, but you never know if someone's playing like a random out. So for the spells, we got our Sky Strikers, play the 3 Widow and the 3 Shark. I still really like 3 Shark. Shark's really good for like decks that are still playing Scythe. It's really good for the Branded in red, especially if you have like, Ray in this, you can just easily bait out a Branded in red, not a problem. And that saves you huge problems. Just like also just graveyard control is always really huge, and so I just always really like these cards.
Such a good card.
Yeah. And then for other Sky Striker spells, play 2 Afterburners. I've always been a 2 Afterburners guy, and I'll always stay in 2 Afterburners. Maybe 3, but never 1. That's for sure. So I'm doing more field spell count. So I'm doing 2 airspace, which I usually on 1, but with this build you'll see I'm playing more field spell. So I like the 2 airspace, and it actually helps consistency a lot. So that's really cool. And then for the 1-of-1s, we have our 1-of Engage, obviously, the 1 multi-roll, and then 1 Eagle Booster. This card I really, really like. And honestly, like just the fact that I can, like if I feel like I can't kill my opponent and I want to survive a turn guaranteed, you just search this out, set it with multi-roll, and then use it on your guy, and you're basically surviving that turn. There's no way you die.
Card is so annoying.
Yeah, so we love this card. I don't think I'd play more than 1, but always play 1. Especially like I played 1 mirror match today, and this card was just huge in that. And then the 1 Hornet Drones, obviously. And then the last one, which most people don't really play anymore, and actually I'm surprised I'm playing this, is I'm playing the 1 Hercule base.
So how'd you like Hercule base?
It didn't really come up too much today. It's more better in testing, where like in some like the really grind games with like Despia and like Flunderies and like decks like that, they also like kind of take a little bit to kill, and they and very grindy. This will like help just recycle my Kagaris. The other thought process is that like if both of these cards end up in the graveyard, and like I have to choose between which one am I going to Kagari back, it's always still going to be engaged, but multi-roll is what really helps you grind. So if you get this, you can recycle back your multi-roll, add back the engage, and then now you can research your multi-roll back out. Now you have your whole like deck flowing again. So it was kind of, in theory, it's really cool. I kept it in against the grindy decks, and sometimes I would, like randomly draw it and then shuffle back in some Kagaris and stuff, and just, make sure my deck just keeps flowing, never runs out of resources, because we don't like doing that.
Pricing is pretty good.
Yeah, so that was the Sky Striker. It's a fairly big Sky Striker count, and somehow I still managed to whiff on airspace, so take that for what you will. All right, for the power spells, because man, we play no hand traps, so we were just trying to destroy people's boards with basically blind going second, or still even going second. So we have 3 Lightning Storm. Card is cracked, love it. Blowing up monsters or back row. Some people don't respect Lightning Storm, so they put all their monsters in attack and they get punished for it. 3 Droplet. This is like just for boards that put up way too many negates. The card's also very good. It has really good interactions with Shark Cannon and Widow Anchor, where you can take one of their monsters, one of these cards, use its effect, or just negate and take it, and then you can send it off with Droplet as like basically a free fodder for Droplet, and then get more interruptions. It's also good to help play around Kaijus and things like that. People still play those. And then for more power spells, we play the 3 Talents. Talents is really strong right now. Going second, it just kind of helps you. Like you can force out like a against Despia, you can like force out a lot of effects. Or you can draw 2 if your hand's looking a little weak. I really like this card. Just the fact that I can steal a monster and its effects aren't negated makes it a little bit better than Widowmaker sometimes. So then I can use their monster for things. And then the real spice, which is kind of funny that this card's back at 3, is Regeki. And this card is honestly really cool at Regeki and really helped me break a lot of boards. Like I could play through like a board's negates, but the board would still be there, and then you'd have Regeki and they're all gone.
Yeah, I got hit twice in one first turn against that.
Yeah, I remember I played against like a Punk Therion, and I was able to play through his board both games, And then I was able to like, one I had the extra Regeki, and one I drew into the Regeki off engage and then just wipe the board. And after that point, you know, they're building the board out of scratch, and I still have like, you know, the Multi-Roll, I have the spells, I have the flowing. And then for the power one-ofs, we have the Called By, the Rhoda, the Terraforming, and the Set Rotation. I really am a huge fan of Set Rotation. This card is super nuts, especially in the Sky Striker sense, because it activates giving you access to 2 more spells out of your deck, 1 to them and 1 to you. And if you like, a really cool combo is you activate a card like, you activate Lightning Storm, and then you chain Set Rotation, giving yourself Mystic Mine and setting airspace the other side of the field, and then this will destroy the airspace, giving you access now to your Ray or Rose, which that's just like a really cool little,
That's pretty good.
Cool combo that I like. Just kind of help boost consistency while also blowing up their back row, while also just getting like tons of spells engraved. So this deck, like since I play 34 spells, we get tons of spells really fast, and my Shizuku is really scary. And then 3 nasty Mystic Mine.
Gross.
Yeah.
Needs to be banned.
Card probably should be banned. Card is stupid. I really only used it game 1s. Game 2s and 3s, I sometimes would side it down to 1 or 2. Just depending on, I feel like if the deck I'm playing against might be prepared for it. I don't really like sitting on the card. I've only had one guy scoop on me like after 3 turns. I was just waiting for a Geki to clear his field, but and then another guy had to wait. Like he made the Sigma Math Mech guy on me, and I had to wait like I had to wait like 15 turns to like get enough spells engraved so I could run over Kagari, because freaking unaffected monster is a pain to deal with. One downside to this deck that I'm not playing Handtraps is I can't do Selene Hauka Firebrax. And not being able to do that makes pushing for games really, really hard. All right, so for the extra deck, we have 3 Kagari, 3 Shizuku, 3 Hayate, 1 Kaina, and 2 Zeke. So 3 Kagari, 3 Shizuku is usually pretty normal. 3 Hayate is usually debatable. With this build that I'm playing a lot slower and doesn't kill us faster, the 3 Hayate is very important, especially if like sometimes if I'm on a situation where I have them under mine, I can make a Hayate punch directly, get rid of it with like a Multi-Roll or something, and then make another one next turn, make another one next turn, you know, kind of thing like that, and then recycle with Hercule Base and do it again. That's one idea you can do to play with under mine, while leaving yourself with no monsters. 2 Zeke, I always recommended it because people said sometimes it comes up. I don't think it ever came up for me once, but I figured I'd try it out. Realistically, I think I should find a way to squeeze in at least just a couple hand traps, like Baylor, so I can still do the Selene Hauka Firebrax. So we have the 1 Dark. He's kind of cool, he was what really helped me push for games, because I could like summon big dark monsters and attack with those and then get rid of them. And then the 1 Unicorn and the 1 Access Code. I don't think I made either of these today because it's so hard to freaking link climb, because all the decks this format don't summon link monsters. So like if decks summon like, you know, link 2s and 3s, link climbing would be so easy. But there's like, you know, deck is like, this format is like mostly like, you know, like Despia and Sword Soul, and they don't make link monsters. So link climbing is pretty tough on using their monsters. So I like the build, but honestly, I think I would just, I gotta find a way to squeeze in some more hand traps again to make this viable. I played against the Sky Striker mirror match in the final round, and he was doing Ash, Valor, and Gamma. And Gamma seemed really cool, and he was doing some of the Chaotic Ruler synchro to activate Vibe and then add like a Gamma or a Valor or something, and then also load you up with lots of spells. That just leaves side deck. Random Sky Striker token. I don't know if are these still expensive? Who knows?
Probably.
For back row decks, and also just like, this will usually be swapped out for Lightning Storm post game 1 if I feel they're going to go first and flip Antispell on me. Sometimes I still keep both in. So the one time I got Antispell today, I had the Twin Twister. The other time he flipped it on me, he also bricked anyways, so sorry for him. But yeah, usually a lot of people are playing Antispell, so you got to play a card like this to be prepared for it. And also you can have this, and then in conjunction with like Widow Anchor or Droplet, you can usually stop whatever negate they put up. And then the rest is going first options. This can be a going first or second against Flunderies, but mostly it's going first. The only problem with this card I found is that, like, because I'm not playing hand traps, if I'm playing against a deck that can OTK and they realize I don't play hand traps, they can just be like, oh, you can draw as many cards as you want, I'm killing you this turn. So this card, in a nutshell, is way better with hand traps. But against like decks like Flunderies or the mirror match that I did it on, decks like that, the decks I don't like necessarily OTK, this card's insane. And then for the real cards that make me go first for the format, we have, those don't really mean anything. We have 3 D-Bear, obviously just really freaking good this format. Synchro, Fusion, XYZ. Another card we have is Different Dimension Ground. This card's really good for decks that maybe this doesn't really cover as well. So this is good against like the ABC, like Therion, like Brave. Remember it's like the ABC Therion decks, so like them need monsters engraved. It's also good at like Phantom Knights. It's got like application against like Sword Soul. Against Despia, it's kind of so-so, but it's really cool. I just wanted another trap option that was a normal trap so that I can combine it with Trap Trick. I was trying there can only be one, but I don't like floodgates that just sit there because they're so easy to like out. And like chainable cards, there's not much your opponent's doing about it, you know, unless they have like red root or cross out or something. So that's why I really like these cards. The only problem is today is I find myself in troubles is like, are people going to make me go first? And I put these in, then I find out that they decided to go first and put in anti-spells, and now I have these trap cards that don't do much unless I can kind of break the board and then flip traps on the next turn. So the deck's pretty tricky in that sense. Hand traps always made that easier because no matter going first or second, you had interruptions. But I still really enjoy the deck. I like Sky Striker a lot. I'm glad with what I did. I'm kind of bummed I didn't get top 8, but I mean, both my losses, at least like my first loss was against Sam, and he's just like an amazing duelist and just destroyed me. And like he was obviously prepared for Mystic Mine, so my Mystic Mines did not stay on the field for more than 2 turns. And then the other guy I lost to was Sword Soul. I think his name is Levi, and he's a very nice guy. And he just game 1 I just opened too many monsters, which is kind of funny. Usually it's like no monsters is the cry about. But yeah, I opened like 2 rows, a Ray, and a Hornet Drone, so I could not break a Sword Soul board that way. And then game 2, I played my cards wrong, and he hit me with a bait set Harpy's Feather Duster, which was nuts. So might have been able to take him to game 3, but who knows. But really like the deck.
Is there anything you change about it?
Yeah, aside from like trying maybe like swapping out like this and this for the Slean Haka Frybex, and then maybe trying to find a play like maybe like DD Crow, Ash, and Valor at the minimum. But I don't know. We're probably gonna move on to Drytron for the next event I go to. But I still really like Sky Striker. I figured I'd give him a try, and I felt like because of cards like Branded Loss, that hand traps are just like they feel so worthless sometimes. So I was like, I just wanted to play power spells, destroy their deal with the board, and then just like control the game from there. And for the most part, I would say that worked. But yeah, this is Lucas from Clean Kaiba the Gentleman. Way better than Dirty Yugi and the boys. I love Sky Striker, but I also do play other decks, and every once in a blue moon I actually upload content that's still probably not worth watching, but yeah. Only thing I get complimented more than for is having nice sleeves. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Yep.